Hello and welcome to the week 8 vlog number 7. This week was pretty fun. We had a couple of site visits for class at the beginning of the week, and then later on in the week my friends and I went on a trip, so you will see all of that. Our first stop of the week on Monday was to the historical museum in the city center downtown in the Plaza de Armas, and our program director took us around and showed us some cool historical artifacts and paintings and stuff in the museum. And then after the historical museum, we also went to the Fine Arts Museum, El Museo de Bellas Artes, and that's actually the museum I went to back in January with some friends. But we went back this time with one of our program directors, and she kind of gave us some more insight on everything, so that was cool. I did accidentally just misinform you. We went on Tuesday to those museums, not Monday, and on Monday we went to a local indigenous cultural community center to learn about the Mapuche, Aymara, and Rapa Nui cultures, but I did not film anything in there. Later on Tuesday, after the museums, I did have a bit of an adventure because almost all of Chile, not the whole country, but most of the country fell into a power outage, and there was no electricity and not very good cell service in most of the country for 7 hours or so. And I was actually on the metro underground when the power went out. So I was just sitting on a stopped train, and I thought maybe we were just at a station for a really long time, but then I realized that we weren't at a station, and then everyone around me started filming and taking pictures and stuff, and then eventually they let us out because half the train was still in the previous station, so I had to walk down the train and then get out, and they had to manually open the doors and stuff. And then it was very dark walking up the stairs out of the subway station. And then because all of the metro lines were down, all the buses and Ubers in the city were totally flooded with people, so it took me another 2 hours to get home after that. So, and then I got home to not having power or cell service, and my phone was dying. It was crazy, and this kind of thing hasn't happened in 40 years. So it was definitely an interesting thing to live through. This is crazy. The next day after the blackout, I was supposed to be getting on a flight at 7 a.m., so I was supposed to be leaving for the airport at 5 a.m. and getting up at 4:30, and I wasn't sure if that was going to be able to happen, because we actually, most of the country got put under a curfew, and then we also didn't have service in the house, so I went on a walk with my host mom to go get better cell service around the corner to reserve an Uber, so that at least something would come for me to go to the airport, because all the planes and everything, the airports in the country, were all working perfectly fine. It was just everything else that was not working, and yeah, it was kind of pretty walking around like with all the lights off everywhere and seeing the sunset. And then I saw some stars that we don't usually get to see. So that was kind of a cool thing to see, like what the city looked like with the no lights on. Crazy. But miraculously, around 9:30 that night, the power came back. Because no one was really sure like when it was gonna come back. But we got it back, so I was able to charge my phone and set my alarm and everything to get up early the next morning. And I made it to the flight, so did all my friends. I did not have a window seat, so I don't have plane footage, but you'll see where we ended up. So we flew into the city of Puerto Montt in Chile, which is very close to the island of Chiloe, which we visited later, along with some lakes, some national parks, some volcanoes. So the first day that we were there was Wednesday, and we rented a car and we drove all around and we had a lot of fun, and we visited a national park and we had a lovely time. So Puerto Montt is a town with a lot of German settler influence. So there's a lot of like German or Alpine style architecture that we saw. We also passed a circus randomly. And then we went to the supermarket after we checked into our Airbnb. We got some food to get us through the day until dinner, and we ate it in the parking lot before setting off for the national park.
We are in
Where'd you get this from? The cafe.
we don't know their juice.
Individually sliced.
Yeah. Puerto Montt impromptu brunch.
Sandwich. No, and then Ellie, you need to cut your own hole.
I got a big sausage.
Wait, take your hand. My bread is like, listen to this.
It's good. Yeah.
And then look at Ella's haul. Hold up, pan to the haul. Get it? Pan.
Ella has a hole.
I think that was my first Spanish trip. Oh,
For reference, if you want to look up where we were driving along Lake Yonquihue, And then the national park that's coming up in the next clips are from Parque Nacional Vicente Pérez Rosales. After our fun exploration day, we stopped for dinner in the neighboring town of Puerto, which is known for its roses, and there were plenty of roses. It's very pretty. We watched the sunset there over the lake and with the volcano in the background, and it was a lot of fun. We had dinner there and explored the city a little bit before heading back to Puerto Montt. The next day I went off on a bit of a solo adventure. I went to find the archaeological site called Montt, which is famous because it was one of the first sites found that proved that humans were in the Americas and this far south in the Americas at least 1,000 years before previously thought. Because before that, people thought that humans had only made it here like 12 or 13,000 years ago, but things that have been found at the site date back to 14,000 years ago or potentially up to 33,000 years ago, which there's like an archaeological debate about that. But I really wanted to go because like this is the kind of stuff that like is in archaeology textbooks and stuff, and like it's a very, very well-known site, and I wasn't actually able to like get out or look around, but it was still great to like drive past it and take pictures and like know that I got to see it. I know that doesn't seem like the biggest deal, but it was a big deal for me. And then it was actually kind of a journey getting back and forth from there because it was like half an hour out of the way on like bumpy dirt roads. So my Uber driver took me there and back. He's very, very sweet. And I was very glad to see that. And then afterwards, my friends were all out whitewater rafting, which was not something that I was interested in. So I went for a walk to the neighborhood of Angelmo in Puerto Montt, which is known for its wool vendors, like artisanal craft fair type of thing. And my host mom had told me about it, and I love crocheting and everything, so I knew I had to go and get some yarn. I did indeed find plenty of yarn, but on the way I stopped and kind of poked around because I had an hour-long walk from our Airbnb into that part of the city. So I walked along the pier and I saw some cool statues and an island and some other cool things, and I just kind of like poked my way through to get to my yarn site. After buying my yarn, which I realized I didn't film any of the craft fair, but that's okay, I do have plenty of yarn. I met up with my friends back at our Airbnb after they got back from their whitewater rafting, and we all made dinner in and had a lovely little night.
I heard I like it though.
Hola chicas! We have homemade Airbnb dinner made by these three. Muchas gracias! And the vibes are immaculate and it's delicious. Brownies in a mug! Yummy, yummy! Thank you, Liliana! Cassie, show us your brownie! Yay!
There was also some burnt popcorn that happened. So this is going in the garbage. So sad. We could have had amazing popcorn. And then in the morning on Friday, we began the next leg of our adventure, which was over to the island of Chiloe. We got on a bus, and then the bus got on a ferry, and then continued on after the ferry to take us to Ancud. And then from Ancud, we took another bus to go see some penguins. It was actually a taxi, but we saw penguins is the point. So keep your eyes out for that part.
some that are cuddling. Do you see them? The two? They're like leaning on each other. Oh, he's so cute.
And after our very cool penguin tour, I boat around the little islands dotting around a beach called Puñihuil. We went back to Ancud to have our dinner, and then after that we took a bus from Ancud to Castro, which is still on the island of Chiloe, and went to our Airbnb for the night.
Cheers! Cheers! Hot sauce, check. Is it hot, Megan?
Very good.
It's good. Very good.
Very good.
10 out of 10.
Her eyes.
Like, are your eyes turning yellow yet?
I don't know. They're like getting darker.
Alright.
Maybe it's
Gonna
because
take
of
sip
it,
of it.
but I feel like they're getting darker, right?
I think so. Wait, yeah. Like the around the
Are you
outside.
struggling?
Just a little, right? Yeah.
Drink more.
You're still going? Okay, that's enough.
See, it looks a little orange at first, but it's not.
Alright, I think I got my period on Wednesday.
Now we just have to wait and see if they change. Interesting, that's for sure.
Look at that. Look at that. How's the meat from your meat tower? Good?
It's meat-tastic.
Yay!
Huh? I said it was meat-tastic.
Oh my gosh, great job.
Look, the same sauce.
Also, the city of Castro on Chiloe is known for these stilt houses they're supported by stilts because of like the water and weather conditions that can exist or have existed there. So it was kind of cool to see them because they're also very brightly colored, and it was also sunset, and it was really cool. Like, that's kind of what this whole study abroad thing is about, like seeing things that most people only see pictures of. We actually got a ride to the Airbnb from the Airbnb host because we didn't realize that it was booked like kind of outside of the main part of the city. It was kind of like campground, like cabin type of situation, and like the Airbnb people were very, very nice. The cabin was so cold. We were like all buried under blankets and like layers of clothing, because like there was heat, but like it wasn't working that well. But we were only there for like 10 hours, and then the next morning it was very pretty at the cabin, where the cabin was, and then we left there. We went back into the city of Castro and we got to do some exploring. We saw a couple of pretty churches, and in addition to the stilt houses, Castro is known for some old wooden churches that are actually like UNESCO protected sites, so it was cool to get to see that. After we had breakfast, we headed back to the bus station to take a bus that got back on a ferry that got back on land, and then we got back to Puerto Montt, and we went to the airport in Puerto Montt to fly back to Santiago. Santiago with a beautiful sunset. So that was a lovely end to a lovely week, full of adventure, full of stories, and yeah, we have classes starting. Today's Sunday, so classes are starting tomorrow. And it's been a month since we have actually had like regular classes because we've been doing the seminar and all the traveling. Because we had class last time in January and now it's March. So yeah, I'll let the sunset take you out and I'll see you guys next time.